happening in an incredible way so that you guys can work with more buyers and more sellers as the market shifts. You'll have a better value proposition. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful on that. Let's jump in, Jordy. We have a special guest joining us this morning. I met this gentleman. Corey, come on up, my friend. So I met Corey. Yay! Here you are, brother. So I can hear you online. I was lucky enough to meet Corey at a Real Producers event about 60 days ago now, something like that. And he really stood out to me because one, he was willing to have some of the conversations right there as we were talking about what he does and how he approach that he takes to his business and your business. And we're just lucky that he was willing to come in today. He's got some gifts. If you guys haven't seen it, he's got these really great tape measures. And yeah, right there, Jordy has one. And so Corey, the floor is yours, my friend. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, like I said, I met Nick. I actually drive by this office all the time. I'm like 5 minutes from here in St. Anthony. So I started doing home inspections in 2020. My background is kind of in construction and remodeling and real estate investment. Owned some properties over the last several years, and I got into home inspections in 2020. And I'm trying to do extra work this year to kind of like help grow my business. I've kind of just sort of been letting it kind of grow itself. So I'm doing things like this, just meeting folks to get my name out there. But yeah, I'm a single inspector, so it's just me. Down sewer scopes, level 2 chimney stuff is all kind of underneath my umbrella. I'm able to handle all that. I've built some really good relationships with other real estate agents over the past, several years, where I'm getting repeat business from them. I don't think it's any secret that a lot of agents have, some go-to home inspectors that they're referring to people. So here and meeting folks like you is kind of what I'm doing to help grow my business. Can do them in St. Paul, not Minneapolis though. Just complaining about them a second ago. So yeah, I do St. Paul Tisch. Minneapolis hasn't tested for a long time, like since the pandemic, for any new inspectors. So I don't really know when they're going to get around to it. I'm on the email list, but I also kind of feel like I've lost my energy to study for another test for it. So we'll see if I go after that one or not. So yeah. Then yes, so I had sent this to Jordan. So this is kind of, I've been thinking more about, I'm doing these meetings with people, just having something to offer to agents that they're able to utilize when they're working with buyers, and kind of something that I've sort of landed on. I'm working on building out like more of an actual presentation for this too, but I want to email this to people. I was going to print some off, and I was like, no, I'll just let them look at it here, and then that'll give me something to follow up with people, so I can email this to you. But I include this in my confirmation email, so this goes out to every buyer that I work. This is going to be attached to that confirmation email. I want to send it to you guys too, so you can just have it, however you want to. But my goal with this is kind of just setting people up for they're going to expect when they get into that home inspection. People aren't feeling freaked out and overwhelmed when they get to that process. Doesn't happen often, but I feel like sometimes that walkthrough is just half hour at the house, kind of going through 20 to 60 things that are on an inspection report, can be a little bit overwhelming for people. So I think something like this, giving them a little heads up, is going to help buyers, and I think it's also going to help agents kind of just smoothly get through that process, and a little bit of the friction of that. So I have a sign up sheet here somewhere. If people want to just do like name, phone number, email, I'm going to put you on a list or anything, but I really just want to send this out to folks and just follow up and say, hey, nice to meet you. I'm going to remember 30 names, I don't think, in 5 minutes here. So yeah, I don't know. That's kind of about it, I think. I'll go anywhere. I know. So I live in St. Anthony. Like I said, I'm pretty close. Most of the time, my inspections are within half hour, 45 minutes of where I live. But I've always told people, I have an inspection that's farther out, and if I can fit it into my schedule, I'm happy to do it. I've driven an hour to an hour and a half inspections, and I don't really mind doing that. I don't have trip charges right now. I don't, some people do it, some people don't. I just chose not to. I think, again, if there was a scenario where I really couldn't fit it into my schedule or something, which I haven't really ran into yet, I might just not be able to do something if it was far enough away, but I kind of just have, you know, starting rates for everything. I have upcharges for square footage, essentially. Then, you know, add on or radon, sewer scope, stuff like that. Yep. So I have a lot of experience with old homes. I've bought and sold several of them. I had rental properties around Minneapolis and St. Paul. And then I just worked in construction and remodeling for like 5 years. And I decided that I was going to get into home inspection. Minnesota is not a licensed state for home inspectors. So I felt like I wanted to do something just to have, you know, something to show to people. Most people don't really ask, but it's a national exam that a lot of states use for their licensing. And I took that exam right when I started, just so I could have something to kind of say like, hey, you know, I've studied this material, I passed this test. You know, outside of that, it's just kind of personal experience and things I'm learning along the way and my background. But last year I did about 200 inspections. So I've had some slow, steady growth, and you know, my ultimate goal is to kind of get like over 300 my own. So it's like a little selling point for me too. One thing I do is I'll publish the report the same day as the inspection. I like to get that people's hands the same day, keeping in mind if there's a radon test and that got started the day of the inspection, that'll be like a 48-hour big time. Try to start them 2 days beforehand if I'm able to do that, just because it's kind of nice to have everything sort of wrapped up, shot. But I use Spectora. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Spectora from other sectors or not, but everything's online. You can book online for your buyer, or your buyer can book for themselves online, or you can just reach out to me directly, text or email, and say, you know, hey, I got a whatever 5-day window. What's your availability look like in the next couple days? So that's all online, and then get everything kind of just goes through email, so they'll get a confirmation to that, and then you'll have that one link. So once the report's published, they kind of go back into that same link and right into the report, and then everything will just be right in there. Everything. Poor. 2 years of high school doesn't really keep up with me. That, yeah. Oh. I completely agree with that. Yeah, yeah. You know, I, it's rare. I mean, every once in a while you get to a house where somebody ends up backing out, and it's going to happen sometimes too. So, you know, at the end of the day, I have to provide all the information I can. I, you know, I think that's kind of some of the stuff that's in this sheet, you know, too, is just kind of setting people up for knowing that, like, hey, all these houses are going to have some problems. You know, everything can be fixed. Just kind of teeing people up to deal with that information. But I mean, my goal, somebody's putting an offer in on a house, my assumption is that they want to buy that house. So I'm not trying to, you know, run scared or try to, like, you know, make anybody feel afraid of anything. Yeah, you know, so I try to present things in a certain way that gives them the information, but also is realistic about things. And yeah, I think it can be tricky with, you know, like liability and stuff like that. But I feel like I've narrowed in on a good system of how I'm presenting things to people, and I haven't had any issues with it yet, you know, so I think what I'm doing is working. Thanks, guys.
Brought up and Gabby. Thank you for that, my friend. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. See him too for his swag. We got cool. So, right next up. Am I? Just so loud. Back again. Yeah, there we go. All right, come on down. We have Kayla from Great North, and she's going to talk to us a little bit today about guiding you home with the experience you can trust.
Good morning. Still afternoon yet? I think I can still say morning. Okay. Love this weather this morning, you guys. If you do live in Ramsey, we have about 3 inches, so this is not bad. I have a question for you guys. So, Shelby, what's your favorite grocery store to go to? Ivy, you go there every time? Bye. Farther away. Jen, what's your favorite grocery store? Pulaski's? Okay. Do you go there every time? Pretty much. If you don't, why don't you? Okay. Okay. Peter, do any grocery shopping? If you do, where's your favorite place to go? Okay. Why? Location? Okay. Were you really? Fun fact, you guys. Peter was in the grocery business. Okay. You go to say hi to your pals, your old pals. Okay, fair enough. Awesome. So what I'm kind of getting at is that location matters, right? When you have such a great product or a great service, that's where you prefer to go. And then if it's the closest to you, even better. So we are the best service. We are the best title company. And as far as location, lucky for you, we're right. Location and service matters, but it is really great that we do have you guys as partners and we are able to office right out of your office, walk down the hall, you ask a question. You can still shoot Britt a text or anything like that. But Mike, there's somebody over there. Such easy access. It's really important, especially nowadays. People want answers like that. So it's really important that we're next door. But we were established in 2023 with the dream that title should be fun, educational, fulfilling, all those things. And you can get that with all of us. I think we're pretty fun. So proximity is power. So this is what I was talking about. So we are conveniently located. We are in-house. We partner with you guys for a reason. We align with your guys' values, the win-win aspect. But exactly what I was saying, proximity is power. So it's really great to have us down the hall, and it's great to, be able to build relationships with you guys every day. Bryn's not here, but I had met Bryn at our previous brokerage. And now that she's here and we get to see her every day, Sean was like, you guys get so excited when you see each other. Like you haven't known each other that long. And I'm like, I know, but it's kind of seemed like a weird celebrity. Like I knew her before. I know her. And it's just fun to build those relationships. So aligning with the right people. So kind of relationships. After I had my daughter, coming back to work was tough, but it's really fun to get to know you guys a little bit better each and every day that we're here, because you do know these people and you start to connect with them. You start to have relationships with them. It doesn't really feel like you're going to work. So being able to connect with you guys, being this close, being in office makes coming to work a little bit easier, at least for me. So thank you guys too for those relationships. Britt is going to hand this out. So this is our title tip of the month, but Britt's going to print these out. Or no, she's going to send them to Jordan, and Jordan will send it out with the recap of the team meeting. And how can we help you? Let's grow your business together. So we can help you grow your business by providing a closing experience, not just a service, but to your clients. So let's do business together. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to all of our partners, but thanks to Great North for continuing to provide a high level of service, and the agent response has been incredible. So I thank you guys, because it's not easy to be a startup as you get through your first year. You guys did it with class and passion, and we are glad to be in business with you.
All right, you guys, just a heads up, a reminder, we have Todd here at 1 o'clock today. So after our Jersey Mike's lunch, he will be here doing a profit share class in the training room. So definitely stick around for that.
But why should you stick around for that? Why should you? Why should you stick around for you don't? Thank you. Right? No, in all seriousness, the goal of profit share is for us to help you recover your cap. Everybody know that? In order for you not to pay a cap, you make introductions to me or to ALC, whatever, and you get a chance to focus on that. We tell you how to break it down, what it does, but the goal again is this: if we can recover your cap every year through profit share, you're here at 100+%. That's it.
All right, you guys. So just a reminder for those of you that will be attending this week, we have a Rosie's on Thursday. Woo!
Rosie's.
That was kind of lackluster, but we'll get there.
Okay, let's try it again. We have the Rosies on Thursday.
Thank
There
you
we go.
guys. I needed that. So you can flip to the next slide for me. Thank you. So I'm going to be sending out a know before you go email probably later this afternoon, just for kind of those last second details. But doors are opening. Event's going to start at 4:30 p.m. So please don't arrive any later than 5:15-ish. We have dinner starting right at 5:30. So we just want to make sure everyone's there so that we can get the buffet line going. Parking maps and everything will be sent out later today. If you do not like parking downtown St. Paul, we recommend Ubers, carpooling. Definitely talk to other agents at the office, maybe that don't live in this area, just to see if you guys can coordinate. Drinks will be available for purchase at the bar. We will also have drink tickets for you guys. So 2 drink tickets per person for beer, wine, and soda. Other kind of details, bring a jacket if you want to take pictures outside. We have a big patio space, so it will be 50 or so degrees that day. Yeah, I'll send out kind of all the details, but if you have any questions, if you have an RSVP'd or you can't make it and you want to come, definitely just reach out to me. We do have a couple extra spots. So yeah, we're super excited for this week. Oh, yes. And I just wanted to take a second. You'll see, we'll talk about this at the ceremony as well. But just want to say a huge thank you to all of our sponsors, all of our partners here. Without them, this event could not happen every year. And so I really just wanted to say big thank you to all of you guys for helping sponsor and make this happen. So
Thank you, Jordy. Grant, all of you have a card in front of you, and Grant is going to be helping some people out to do some things that some of us don't feel like we can do. He can do it. Things that we think about when we are listing a property like drywall stuff, right? Stand up, my man. What else? What are some of the other things that you're going to be doing?
So basically this started with me doing work for Corby, really simple stuff like hanging smoke detectors and lights and things like that. And then it turned into us doing it for listings and taking care of all their small needs, either from a Tish that doesn't require HVAC or electrician licensed people, things like that. And then it just turned into more. And I realized I have enough time to get to a lot of people throughout the week and off times, because a lot of times it's one-offs. It takes an hour here, 2 hours there, not always full day projects. I definitely stay in my wheelhouse. If I can't do it, I'm not going to tell your clients that I can, or yourself. I'm not going to tell you, oh, I'll try that. I generally don't go attempt something at someone else's home. I'll go home and try it first, and then learn from it. But yeah, I've got a laundry list of small things I can do. A big one is demo. Actually, I found that between contractors, what they charge for the demo portion, come in and get it done in a day for you, probably save you at least a few $100s, depending on how big the project is. But yeah, there's just a lot of different things. I noticed on there, it says minor carpeting. It should be carpentry. But yeah, I've done quite a bit now just from installing closet systems, putting together IKEA stuff, even things that it's just the things that people don't want to do. You have a laundry list of items, loose outlets, things like that that need to be changed out. Like you want changed out a fixture, a new ceiling fan, things like that. Can get to them for you. They're only pretty quick right now. I've talked to a lot of my friends who are in the handyman business and they're generally booked out for a couple of months. So that kind of pushed me kind of add this on just one, because it helps our clients out really fast with items to get done before listing or when they're moving in. And yeah, kind of enjoy doing it too. So have something, just shoot me a text, shoot me an email, and let me know.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, we call them Van Gogh.
I don't do full houses necessarily. I won't be the entire house, but I've done rooms that I've done different like. I'll do it definitely. There's no problem.
Well, you guys know him. We all like him. And no, in all honesty, if there are those little things that we know that make sense for this that we can't do or our clients can't do, it's a really great pivot at a really great cost. So check him out, you guys. All right, Lynn, it is now you. We're going to talk about agent disclosures. This is where I get to refill my cup of coffee.
Go for it. Am I on? Hello? This on? Okay. Great. I have no idea what I got into, but my asthma kicked in and I sound like shit. So sorry. All right. So think about it, when you're sitting at a listing appointment and maybe the seller is going to do a disclosure alternative, we've suddenly had a rash of probate and deed type listings where they really haven't lived in the house, but they probably know quite a bit, just not everything. So they're doing a disclosure alternative. All of a sudden, while you're sitting there, they get chatty. And guess what? The dishwasher doesn't work. Maybe the water's turned off in one of the bathroom sinks because it's got a drip, or the toilet. Those are things that if they're doing a disclosure alternative, they can't disclose something without disclosing everything. But you as an agent, you have a duty to disclose anything that's a material fact that you know. So when I tell agents that, they get a little confused. First off, it doesn't have to be confusing. This is one off my listing. It's just a Word doc. It just says listing agent disclosure of known material facts. Dishwasher is not installed. It's just simply sitting in the appropriate location. Seller doesn't know if it works or not. Then photos show a fire burning in the fireplace. They'll look at your photos, right? When they come back. Well, I had a seller that was very adamant that he has never had a fire in that fireplace, and the photographer took the liberty of adding that fire. So I added on here, photos show fire burning in fireplace. This was created by the photographer. The seller has never used the fireplace. Then I sign it with who I am. The client does not sign it. The seller does not sign it. They cannot disclose something without disclosing everything. You do want the buyer to sign it. Okay, your wheels are turning. What's the question? Your wheels are squeaking, Peter. No, the seller is going to have told you. The sellers, they always get chatty. My brother's meeting a seller right now at a listing because you know what? The valve on the toilet was turned off. They knew it had a drip. They didn't think anyone would use it. It's getting fixed. But if they're doing a disclosure alternative, they can't suddenly say, oh, but we took care of the mouse problem in the basement. Unfortunately, they also can't do good things. They can't say the windows are only 6 months old. You either disclose everything or you disclose nothing. And that's on the seller. You as the agent, when you know something good, you're going to put it in the comments online. Hey, these windows are 6 months old. Then when you hear that but then when you hear something that's not so good, like the dishwasher is just simply taking up space, it's never been hooked in, you do have to let people know. Your client does not sign it. Your client is not disclosing that. You as the agent are disclosing it. There's no form. Okay. I get probably 1 call a week. Where's that form? There's no form. You're going to do a Word doc. You're going to handwrite it. I don't care. Put your signature on it and have the buyer sign it. It's not enough to just put in the agent comments, hey, dishwasher doesn't work. You need to know that the buyer knows that the dishwasher doesn't work. I have no idea why the heck he took a dishwasher off someone else's curb and put it in his spot. But that's what he did. He thought it just looked better to show it had one. I know people are weird. It closed. Does that make sense to everyone though, that this is an agent to disclose what the agent knows as a material fact? Could be really a big thing. It could be a really kind of trivial thing, but if it's gnawing at your conscience that you think a buyer would want to know that, it's kind of telling you it's probably a material fact. Disclose it. I made sure my seller knew I was disclosing it. I actually put in the listing contract that they knew I was disclosing this. Just, I'm kind of that way. I don't want to get a call from your seller. Well, my agent wasn't supposed to tell anyone. No, your agent's supposed to tell you that they're telling everyone. Make sense? Yeah. Why would you use an agent disclosure for updates? Wouldn't you just put that as a, yeah, you just put it in the remarks, maybe even a supplement. I wouldn't be signing what they told me they did for updates. I mean, I just went on a listing appointment. They got a brand new kitchen 5 years ago. It's not quite so new. I had to tell them their 5-year-old carpet had 2 dogs living on it for 5 years. You know, I don't want to put my name on what they tell me is an update. But when they tell me something doesn't, we've had 2 dishwashers in a row. It's kind of funny. I like my dishwasher. It works. All right. I think I'm done, Jordan. Oh, we're going to do forms classes. We're going to go over the PA on the 10th. Disclosures in depth on the 17th. That page 4, y'all got to get better at it. When you see that your client says their swimming pool doesn't work and they don't have one, you might want to redirect them to that question. I felt really old last night at a listing appointment. I used the term Ben Franklin and the client didn't know what it was. Travis, you know what a Ben Franklin, yeah. And then on the 24th, we're going to do net sheets and that'll be a Zoom class. Lynn will be Zooming, literally.
You guys, thank you, Lynn. We appreciate that. Don't change this yet. You guys, when we talk about getting better, when we talk about being the best, we oftentimes talk about sales, right? How many times do I talk about sales? Do we talk about lead generation? Does lead generation matter to the consumer? Is that their reason for doing business with you? No. The reason that they're going to do business with you, that you're better at helping them understand and providing context and guidance in here. If you can't talk the purchase agreement, if you can't identify the main points that they should be focused on, if you can't convey that with confidence and to be articulate, the consumer is going to go, listen, you're really pretty, Nick, but you don't know anything about what's in the purchase agreement. They're not working with me because I'm pretty. Because nobody's ever worked with me because I'm pretty. No, they're working with you guys because they want to know that you know what you're talking about so they can feel comfortable giving that to you, right? They're saying, listen, I get this. This is the class that you guys should all attend, because if you can articulate this and you can go into detail, the consumer is going to find more comfort with you than they do somebody who points and says, I don't know what you're doing there, just sign there. That's what I think he does. Okay. So show up to this and build into your business this year, please. If I show up and this room is empty, I'm finding every one of you guys. There we go. All right. Thank you, Lynn. Heck yeah. Fuck, let's jump up. This is something that the LC took on, and I think it's awesome.
Yes, I'm Shelby, by the way. The ALC Culture Committee is excited to announce that we're starting up a Market Center book club again. It's been a while since we've had one of those. So we're going to start with the full fee agent, which I'm going to have Lisa talk up for you guys. But it says we're starting tomorrow, but obviously nobody has the book yet. So I'm planning on telling you all about it today, which look at that, I'm doing that. So letting you know to buy the book, and we'll start reading for next month, the first Wednesday in May, and read the first 2 chapters of the book if you'd like to join. Is there anybody that's currently thinking about being part of the book club right now? I just wanted to get an idea. Okay, awesome. Sweet. Okay, sweet. Oh yeah, there's some interest. That's awesome. Okay, so yeah, Lisa will just let you know, give you a little.
Hello, I'm Lisa Prochel, for those who don't know. This book was actually recommended by Karen Collins, and I was super intrigued when she told me about it. It's written by FBI hostage negotiator and a former Miami Dolphin turned real estate agent. So if that isn't intriguing enough, I don't know what is. Basically, the FBI negotiator says we're doing real estate all wrong. He knows a thing or two about talking to people and getting them to do what they need to do. He works in life and death situations. And selling real estate is extremely high stress situation for our sellers and our buyers. And we don't always look at them that way, look at it more like a transaction. So I've barely gotten into this book. I find it super interesting. There's also a couple of YouTube videos that I found that are really interesting. And I'm just going to read to you just I don't know, it's not even called the foreword, but the first like little quotes. So Chris Voss is the FBI negotiator, and he says, real estate agents are the greatest bargain on planet Earth. Steve Shull, who's the former Miami Dolphin turned real estate agent turned real estate coach, was operating at a very high level. And then he met Chris Voss and totally changed his game and got even bigger and better. He says, we would like to dedicate this book to every real estate professional who truly wants to excel in this business. Every day you go out into the world, working hard to be trustworthy, competent, and a straight shooter with little or no appreciation. Most of your clients undervalue your service, and they think they can do your job better than you. It's virtually impossible for any buyer or seller to fully understand the complexity of your efforts and the skill and the knowledge required. If they only walked one day in your shoes, perhaps they would have a very different opinion. Hopefully, this book will give you the insight and wisdom to conduct your business to the best of your ability and live with less stress and greater ease in everything you do.
So it clearly sounds like a really good book. It's a really quick read as well. Like it's not very big. It's only 175 pages. So anyway, if you have any questions, please let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you the first week of May with your full fee agent book. There's 2 chapters. Thanks.
that better? Yeah, look at that. Weird. But no, I mean, if you guys aren't hearing this, and I think you are, but if you're hearing this, this is the moment where we start to talk about getting better in a way that you can articulate that to the. A lot of the things that you guys have done over the course of your career aren't things that you immediately talk to the consumer about, so they don't know what it is you do, how it is you do, the painstaking things that you do to make sure that when you're going on showings with them, to make sure that you've got the right relationships for mortgage and title and inspect. They don't understand that. And so the what you guys can do in this is helping them understand what they can do, will make, or helping them understand the entire process allows you guys to be in control of how they're feeling about it. Their expectations are being set by you. And oftentimes they feel like we're not meeting those expectations, right? Because we're not setting that. So this is the opportunity, you guys, to have a conversation about what you're offering and how to fight for that, not only for you and your commission, but also for your agent, or I'm sorry, for your consumer. So we'll give these away at the Rosies and we'll get into it. During Never Ending Referrals, we had a discussion yesterday that I'd like to start with. Thank you guys for yesterday. Shelby and Ryan helped me kind of come to an aha moment, and I'd love to share that aha with you. So imagine this is your funnel of your business, right? How many of you are familiar with the funnel and understand what stuff funnel is, okay? So your funnel has oftentimes multiple points where you're adding things in, right? This aha came because of where I think most of us have a tendency to fail and why. How many of you have had an open house where you had a buyer that showed up, where the person showed up and you had a good conversation, they said, I'm ready to buy? How many of you have had that happen? Okay, a few of you, probably all of you at some point have had that conversation. Same with sellers, okay? That is the easy part of our business. And for a lot of us, when the market is good, when the hands go up, servicing those hands, right? So how many of you have helped people who had an immediate need to buy or sell? Everybody go up, right? Pretty much every one of you at some point have had this conversation. You do the activities, you do the open houses, you do the buyer seminars, you go out, you network, you meet people, right? So right here is this moment where you have a tendency to fail, right? Every single one has the tendency to fail right here. This is in your immediate follow-up. I mean this. I don't know how to put as much emphasis on this as possible. What the tendency is, right, is for you to skip this process and go right to here. I meet with the agents, whether it's you guys or it's the agents that I'm having conversations with on a daily basis. This is the aha for my life that you guys are missing. If you're not actively doing the follow-ups, if you're not actively putting people into your database and finding a way to engage them, this is it. I know a lot of you that I meet with do the work. How many of you feel overwhelmed? Okay? How many of you feel like you're doing the work, but the results aren't there? This is where we come into that moment, because what happens is that this follow-up maximizes the size of your potential results. What happens is we have a tendency to go to an open house. We have a really great open house. 10 people come in, but 2 people I identify as people who want to take action right now. And what do we want to get? We want to get paid right now, right? And so we're always thinking of that. And that, I think, has a tendency to root much larger and much more sizable potential in your database, is getting these people into the database right away. I'm not talking about a week, right? Because how long is it before they forget who you are? Meet somebody at an open house. Their level of interest and engagement is up here. These are days. From the time that you meet them here, inception point, to the first, you wait until Monday afternoon. Now, I didn't do it because I had other things I was busy. By Wednesday, they don't know who you are anymore. You're just another real estate agent that they met at an open house, right? Is this happening to you guys? Okay, what are you doing to overcome this? Instead of me leading you, tell me, what do you do after you meet somebody from an open house? How quick? Right after they leave. Yeah. So you have some automation there, right? Yes. Yes. We have a tendency to do, you guys, is we have a tendency to follow up too late. After the trust in that conversation has shifted, where they no longer are actively thinking you're their person of choice. And we wonder why that this person, when we put them into our database, 5 days later, why we never hear from them again. Even though when they were in the open house, they were like, hey, how are you? I'm excited. I would love to work with you. And then they don't. Why? Because in that 5 days, you allowed them to have an opportunity to forget who you are. You had the opportunity to step in and create a real 8x8, right? Now, why do we do this? What is the tendency? What is your tendency? Shout it out if you feel comfortable, or blame it on Peter Hiller, right? What is your tendency to not follow up? Fear of rejection, right? You guys already did the hardest part, which is that initial introduction. Don't do open houses. Don't do classes. Don't do networking. Don't show up if you're not willing to do the work of actually putting them in your database. Say it again because it's tough. Don't go to open houses. Don't hold open houses. Don't go to networking events if you're not going to do the work, because what you're doing is you're giving the consumer, you're allowing them to not feel as confident about your cooperatives. Go ahead. Yeah. It's even better. I actually really appreciate you saying that, Ryan. It wasn't fear. It was just that there wasn't a system, right? So what is your system? Forget that there's fear. Maybe you're just not, because you're not doing it, right? So you guys, whatever you put in here, you got to do it. How many of you don't even raise your hands because I don't want to be disappointed yet, right? About how many of you don't have an 8x8 setup? Who can help you set up an 8x8? Raise your hand if you can help people in this room set up an 8x8. See, we have 3 people in this room that can help you. How many of you have a smart plan set up that you actually can roll out and articulate what that does? You guys, this is the moment you've been waiting for to improve the service, to improve the systems in your business, to improve your familiarity with the forms, to improve your familiarity with the market. So that's it, you guys. I want you to focus as much as you can on everybody you meet. And I know this, I've said this before. There are agents in this room who put me into their database. Why did they put me into their database? Because it's habit. Because it's consistency. It's habit. They meet me and they're like, well, okay, yeah, Nick, I'm going to enter them into my database. It becomes second nature. If that's not what you're doing right now, every single person you meet, you're not going to meet their expectations. You're not the one in control of setting them. You're allowing your competition to set that expectation for us. For them to say, well, your agent didn't do enough for you. Who's your agent? They I don't remember. I met him at an open house, or her. Come on, guys. Let's step into the fray here and get really, really used to the fact that we need to do a better job more consistently to raise our opportunities. And this is one of those moments, is making sure that we're not skipping to the sweet spot, that we're doing the consistency and the follow-up. Because I would imagine many of you are going, I want more business, but why do you want more business? Because we're arguably a lot of times not servicing the people that are in our database already. These are people that already know, like, and trust us, or at the very minimum are familiar enough with you to actually open the email. Don't lose that opportunity. All right, Jordy, go ahead and throw up I'll try to work with this thing. Oh. Does. All right, we're going to work this together. All right, have any of you, I'm sure many of you have, are you familiar with the fact that SPAR, it's good now. Ooh. Are many of you familiar with the fact that SPAR puts out, SPAR-MAR and the Minnesota Association put out monthly indicators? Any of you use it for your marketing? Hey, we got a couple. So we're going to jump into this really quick because I think that this is some really great information. Number one that you can share because you want to be the economist of choice for your customer, right? or the market 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 leader of choice. All right. These are through February of 2024 right now. So new listings are up 34.5% from 23 to 24. Year to date, we're up 27.2%. How many of us were familiar with that? Is that a good number? Does that mean good things for us? I think it does. I think it does mean something. It means that there's going to be more transaction volume this year than maybe we had experienced the last couple of years, right? Pending sales up 0.1%, year to date up 10.6%, right? Closed sales up 11.2%. Again, there's more activity, there's more things that are happening, right? Days on market has actually come down a little bit. Again, this is the conversation that we start to have about speed to sale, right? About the activity that are happening and how they're happening in real time. Median sales price is up. Median sales price is up 4.5% or 3.8% year to date. I think that is in alignment with what we've been talking about. The number that we were using, that a lot of the economists were using at the beginning of the year for this year was somewhere in the neighborhood of 9 to 12% increase in valuations. We're on track to see that. Average sales price, $412,000, 414, increase of 2.9%. Percentage of original list price received, up 0.3%, 0.3%, for a total of 97.5%. Let me ask you guys about this one. The percentage of original list price received, what does that indicate to big degree? Petition. Right? Your availability of what the average sales price is a culmination of your ability to price the property correctly, right? Your ability to negotiate effectively when you have concessions that are going to be there. The higher the percentage of list price received, I believe that often indicates either a really hot market, right? A really hot, or a really good salesperson, a really good real estate agent, somebody who is willing to go in and negotiate because you can fight for that price. Now, is 3% a big deal? If you ask the lawsuit people, yes, it is. But on the other hand, it's not usually, right? And helping them understand how to get the home at the best possible price in the lowest amount of time with the least amount of problems, right? That's our goal. This is a point that you can say with your business when you talk to the sellers, what it looks like. You are getting your list price more consistently. Go ahead, Todd. Todd, I can't say more to that. You and I talk pretty much every day about this, and one of those things consistently is that the market has absorbed the rate conversation. So I saw a real estate agent who works at a different firm yesterday, and he put the notification that rates had come down. Well, technically, rates had actually gone up this week. So his information that he was using was a bit out of date. But my conversation with him would be, why are you posting that about rate? Why are you posting that about rate? Can you articulate how rates as a loan op or as a real estate agent, can you articulate how the rates are formed? Yeah, you can. Can you articulate what's happening in the market? Probably not, right? And so when we talk about interest rates, oftentimes I think it's misleading. The conversation that we should be having right now is about opportunity, right? The more homes that are coming on the market, getting them in touch with Mark, right? Getting them in touch with Raina, getting them in touch with the lender that can help them decide what the program is and what the interest rate will be that's beneficial to them is far more important for you to help your customer understand that than it is trying to help them understand that interest rates have gone down. We know that there's already more activity and the interest rates really haven't moved a lot. I think what Todd's getting at is when the interest rates move, there's going to be a dramatic increase, an immediate increase in activity. So how many of you check those interest rates that Mark sends out every day? Remember you guys when I thought it was special that he was sending them to me and I found out he sends them to all of you? Right? Yeah, I'm still special. I appreciate that. You guys, this is an indication for you to be able to give perspective to your customer, right? It's the opportunity. Okay. I'll just shut it off and turn it back on. New listings, you guys, I mean, this is it. How many of you have seen an increase in your activity so far this spring? I know we have seen some in some places, right? Where there's been legitimate increase in activity. If you're not seeing this activity in your business, let's talk about that right now. What does that look like for you guys to right now be able to have a conversation? What resource do you need? Steve, go ahead. Correct. Right? Well, and well, and when we talk about we're not calling it compensation anymore, we're calling it concessions. Yay, I'm going to get used to this at some point. When we talk about concessions right now, when we talk about helping our seller understand how they're going to stand out when you have 6,000 new listings that are going to come on that for the year. How do you want to stand out? Again, you guys, how we formulate our conversation with the consumer is going to be dependent on our ability to show them the reality and the numbers and be able to give them context and how to approach that, right? And so what I want you guys to think about is that using a slide like this to help them understand how you can remain competitive when there's more homes on the market than there have been in the last two first quarters. You want your house to be seen, then I would argue that there's an opportunity for us to have a concession conversation. In order for you to be seen by everybody and shown by everybody, because we know that there's a lot of competition in the marketplace right now, you should be looking at offering buyer compensation, or in this case, a buyer concession. Again, we don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I want to start thinking about and imploring you guys to start thinking about what this really looks like when change comes, because it's going to come either way. It might be watered down. It might look differently. Being able to articulate why you think they're going to be in a competitive market and how to stand out is what they're looking for from you. Pending sales, we kind of talked a little bit about this. I'm going to move to days on market again. You guys, we can see that the days on market have kind of continued to come down, right? And they probably will. I don't think that we're going to see a significant change in this in the near future. I think we're going to continue to see homes come on the market that are ready and marketable, and they're going to come off quick, right? How many of you are seeing multiple offers on properties that are ready for market? Yep. And they're done within the first weekend or the first 7 days of the first. Why? Because they're prepared for it. This is an opportunity again to further have conversation as to the reason that days on market have declined is because us as an industry have gotten better about communication. We've gotten better with our title and mortgage partners in extracting friction from those transactions and making them simpler, but also the consumer themselves are more prepared than they've been. I don't think that we're going to see a significant shift in days on market as we move forward upwards. I think that number is probably going to remain somewhere in that 60 to 75 day mark. Average sales price, we've seen this go up. Again, we're looking at potentially 15% more sales across the market with an increase of somewhere between 9 and 12%. Percentage of original list price. Housing affordability, does this matter to you every single day? No, but it is a conversation to have with people to help them understand when was the best time in this graph to buy, theoretically. Yesterday. Every single day it has the potential where affordability is a conversation you can help them understand how waiting is going to impact their bottom line. Inventory of homes for sale. I don't think this is new to anybody, but again, we're somewhere in that active 10,000 annually. Is that going to shift dramatically? No, we have no indication, both from a survey standpoint of people deciding they're going to move and more new builds starting, although those things are coming up. Area overview. Now, again, you guys can take these and break them out very specifically to the areas in the Twin Cities. If you don't know how, I swear to you, it's simple. Go to spar.com, go down, click on statistics. You will immediately come to a page that gives you an option to pick a 13 or 16 county metro area, or if you want to go deeper, you can go specific to the communities. This is the communities. This is just a snapshot of some of the communities that they have that are listed, that you can show this very, very simply to a consumer as about Andover or about Roseville or about Shoreview. Now, granted, again, that is very generic information, but it does start the process of having a conversation that is more easy for them to understand. I see, and this just goes on for days. All right, guys, let real quick, was that helpful? Did that give you guys some context? If you don't and you want to use this, feel free to come and sit with me. It's a 5-minute conversation on me to tell you guys how to use it or how you can use it and how to use this consistently to be bringing up opportunity. Wants and needs coming soon, just listed open houses. Scan this for the current all of the current active listings. And then does anybody have anything they want to share? Any wants and needs that are in the market right now? Okay, now the good news is next. Is that what sometimes I don't know what Jordy wants me to say. What do I say, Jordy? All right, awesome. All right, you guys. So here's what we have. Corey brought in a couple of things that you guys should all want. I know you need one of these. So take one of these. And then he also brought in Jersey Mike's, and that is in the back, you guys. So have a kick-ass day. Go help somebody. Go make a difference, you guys. And if you need help, reach out to one of our leadership team members. Profit share with Todd. Did you? Yeah. Let's press.